get into what we're gonna do in the upcoming season here. So I'm just gonna pick 3 of these, just the same like I did last year. Basically, these are all kind of storylines or things that could happen in the offseason. Anyway, I'm gonna pick 3. So first one's quarterback that hasn't won a Super Bowl gets new weapons via trade. We'll go through the roster and find out who I want for that. My second one's going to be a vet wide receiver gets traded and gets an immediate +5 boost. Now, this is +5 overall, not +5 to one specific stat. Third here, okay, we get the same one. I'm not going to do the same one twice. We'll put that back in the pool, and then let's draw another one here. Number 21 looks good to me. Best player suspended for PEDs. We see that constantly in the NFL. That's probably the most. We could have put that one up here 5 times. But we'll go through and find out exactly what team, and we'll spin the wheel and all that fun stuff. So yeah, let's get into that now. Okay, we're gonna spin the wheel now. And again, this is spinning for that player that gets suspended for PEDs. So I'll spin it once here. See what we land on. Let's hope it's a good team. Okay, so we got the Panthers. I've already done the Panthers for one of these, so I'm not going to do the Panthers again. Let's go ahead and just give it a spin. And we are landing on the Las Vegas Raiders, which is massive because, as you know, that is definitely going to be Max Crosby. So that's a huge loss for them. But yeah, let's jump into the actual game and start doing this. All right, welcome to the preseason here. So I did want to go over a couple things that for the wheel spin. So number 1 was a quarterback that hasn't won a Super Bowl gets new weapons. So what I did for that is I traded. Let's go to league history or league transactions here. So I traded. It's gonna be all the way down. I did a lot of stuff for these wheel spins. George Kittle, and I sent him to the Chargers. So now Justin Herbert has George Kittle on his squad. That's kind of all they were lacking was a tight end, so I got him the best one. And you can see that they traded a bunch just to get him. So that is the first thing that happened. So that quarterback that hasn't won a Super Bowl is Justin Herbert, and he got George Kittle. So huge offseason trade. Number 2 thing I did was, and I'm going to have to go back and do this again, was I moved. So Max Crosby, as you saw, was the Raiders were the team that got picked for their best player was suspended for PEDs. So I went ahead and Max Crosby is their best player. So he's going to be out for 1 entire year. I moved him to tight end. However, he was like a 30 overall and it's preseason. So they're probably going to release him. So instead, I'm going to put him back to right end or wherever. I put it back to right end, and then in week 1, I'm going to change him back to a tight end. I just want to make sure that he doesn't get released, basically. But he's not going to play the whole year. All right. My number 2 thing that I did was for a vet wide receiver gets traded and gets a +5 boost. What I did for that is I traded Debo to the Bengals, so they are absolutely stacked. And to give him that +5 boost, I was going to just do it as a wide receiver. But he would be the 3rd wide receiver on the team. So he actually be the 2nd behind Higgins, or in front of Higgins and behind Chase. So what I thought to do was let's just move him to a halfback. That's kind of what he plays a lot of that anyway. So I put him at halfback, and that was exactly a +5 boost. So he is now the Bengals starting running back. So they got Joe Burrow, Debo, Jamar, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, Gesicki. So they're looking pretty sweet here. And you can see I kind of messed around with it a little bit. I thought about doing a +5 overall to his wide receiver stats and then moving him to running back. But once I did that, he was a 99 running back. And I'm like, well, that's not what I'm trying to attain here. Let me just move him to running back. And he was a +5. And then the last wheel spin was a veteran wide receiver gets traded again. The same thing. He gets traded and gets a +5 boost. So what I did was I traded Scary Terry to the Giants, and I gave him a +5 boost. So now our second year Matt Dixon quarterback now has they traded for Kyron last year from us, and then this year the Commanders sent them Scary Terry. They got back Kayvon Thibodeau and some picks. So cool there. And then here's where I edited Scary Terry to make him a little bit better. +5 overall. I forgot what his overall is now. We can go check that. And then Wandale, I just edited his number so Scary Terry can have it. I moved Max Crosby back to right end just because of what I've already said. And then that is all the wheel spins. So that's what I did for wheel spins. That's kind of what the storylines are going into the season. And then I wanted to do some trading on my own. So what I did was actually I got rid of, you can see I traded a 5th, 4th, or 2 4ths, Hardman, Alaric Jackson, Bobby Brown to the Colts. And I got back a D tackle, which is what I was trying to get, a veteran D tackle for my rookie to learn from. So I got DeForest Buckner back. I also got Anthony Richardson back, who, yes, Zach Wilson was going to be my number 2, but I'm going to try and use Anthony Richardson as in like a Taysom Hill type of role. We'll see how well that works. He doesn't have Taysom Hill ratings. I probably will just, he can't catch like Taysom, and he definitely can't carry the ball like Taysom. His carrying is very, very low for some reason. So I might just use him as like a 3rd down Justin Fields type of guy, how the Steelers are using him. But he is our emergency backup as well. Or he might be a 3rd stringer. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know how I play with him yet, but I'm going to mix him in every now and again. But I thought that was a fun trade. I got 78 overall Anthony Richardson to back up our rookie. He's definitely not gonna be a starter, but he's gonna be available for us. And then DeForest Buckner was someone we really, really needed, and all we got rid of was another D tackle that was worse, a left tackle that got his place taken. Hardman got his place taken as well, and then a bunch of picks. Then what I did was, I just changed Jamie Pickett's number, and then I traded for Jalen Wright. I wanted a speed back. So I was able to just do a swap with the Dolphins. They took Harrison Bryant. I took Jalen Wright. Good to go. 1-for-1 swap. Then I signed Chase Claypool on a preseason deal, basically, and I moved him to tight end. I think he's big enough to be a tight end. Not a blocking tight end, but he's going to try out for the team at least for the preseason. At tight end, he's not going to be a wide receiver in this league anymore. It just is not going to happen. And then I gave him some more competition by moving Martin Hurts, which is one of our bigger receivers. I moved him to tight end as well. And again, he's more of a route running speed tight end, so we're not going to use him a lot, but he is there, and they're going to kind of battle. They might both make the team, but they're definitely going to both play at tight end in the preseason. And then you got Jamie Pickens here. I think I just edited his gear or something, but that's all the updates. So I did make some trades. Let's go over real quickly what my depth chart looks like. So go to my depth chart here, and you can see Timmy is 84 overall X factor. Again, still can't believe it. Got Anthony Richardson following him, Zach Wilson, and then Matt Stafford way down here. This is really just, I'm keeping him on as captain, and he's just gonna help the young man along the way. Veteran presence. And is a very expensive veteran presence because he's $50 million this year. But it is his last year, so we're going to have some cap space to work with in the offseason. And then you got Martin Scott starting. He's going to be our bell cow. You got Jalen Wright for a more like a scat back situation. And Blake Corum will be the backup to both. Derwin Pitts is our rookie who has pretty good speed. And he will also maybe potentially get some work if one of these guys goes down. From there, it doesn't really matter. Blake Corum is going to be our lead fullback, and then this is how it's going to shake out with our offense. So Puka is going to be our number 1 guy again. Cooper Kupp still holding down number 2. Our number 3 guy is going to be Jamie Pickens, my rookie that I just drafted, 96 speed, which sucks because I love Whittington, but Pickens has to get on the field. We got to get those burners on the field. He needs to work on his catching, but we'll get there. Jordan Whittington's catching is 91. I did not realize that, but that's pretty dope. And then from there, you got Martin Hurts. He's the guy that I moved to tight end. He's also going to be our 5th wide receiver, just in case. At our tight end spot, of course, we picked up Mark Andrews in the offseason, so we're going to immediately start him. And he's going to mentor both of these guys. Now, Chase Claypool is a little bit older, so I put him at number 3. He is a tiny bit bigger, so I may move him up. But Martin Hurst, for now, has the number 2 spot. Our left tackle was Tyron. We spent like $20 million to get him in the offseason. We need him, though, to protect our quarterback. Bo Limmer is going to be our do-it-all backup. He's going to go move everywhere. So you got Tyron Smith at left tackle, Steven Avila at left guard. You got Limmer, his backup. Clay Larson, that scheme fit guy that we got, second year guy. He's gonna be our center with Bo Limmer as the backup. Kevin Dotson comes back. He gets hurt all the time, so I'm imagining Bo Limmer will be able to play. And then Blake Rivers, unfortunately, we're gonna have to rock him at the right tackle, and I'm actually gonna move this Cowan guy up there as well. I don't know who's better. They're both 73 overall, so I would imagine 6'8", 330 is better than 6'4", 320, but we'll see who has better. They're very comparable with everything else. His pass block finesse is much better. Lead block 90 for a tackle doesn't really matter. For a guard, that would be very good. We might move him to guard. For lead block being 90 with a pulling guard, I'm actually going to do that. I didn't look at these yet. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to move Cowan to tackle. He'll be our full-time right tackle. Blake Rivers, I'm going to move him to guard. He'll be a nice pulling guard. Vila's only in his 3rd year, so he's going to have to be a backup, unfortunately. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move Blake Rivers to backup, then that's fine. It all depends on what their dev traits are, so I'm kind of interested to see. Hopefully they get enough snaps. They're not going to get enough snaps in the preseason. And I already spent my money. Oh, that is another thing I did. I used my coaching points to see what Pickens was. And oh no, I didn't. Who did I use it on? Oh, I used it on our D tackle. So I wanted to see what our D tackle's dev trait was, and unfortunately it's just a star, but we'll hopefully be able to get that up a little bit. But that's who I used my points on this year. And then hopefully those tackles kind of reveal themselves over time. We'll see what that. But let's go back to my depth chart. Got a couple more things to go over. So on our defense, it's going to be the identical defense that it was last year. We got Fisk, Kobe Turner, and then we got Buckner with Samuels backing him up. And what was Buckner? Yeah, 83. So he goes up to like an 84, I think. Jared Verse, our newly minted X Factor. We got our 2 middle linebackers that we had last year. So Spates and Gibbons. And then our new outside linebacker, Owe. And same thing with our defense. Our secondary, unfortunately, we did not get better there, which is going to be a key for our offseason. We literally identical team that it was last year. Now for kick returning, I'm going to do something fun. I'm going to put Anthony Richardson back there just for fun, which is probably not smart since his carrying is 57. He's probably going to fumble at some point, but I wanted to have fun with it. Use him where I can. And then he'll come in to do read option stuff, you know. We'll have some fun with him. And then Pickens is going to be my punt returner just because of his burners. Third down back, I put Jalen Wright there just because I like his speed at that position. And then Martin Scott's, of course, going to be our power back. Slot, I'm debating on who I put here. I want to put Jamie Pickens there for now so that he gets all the targets and his overall gets a huge boost. But I also am okay with him not getting a huge boost in overall because I don't have to pay the guy. And I can use what he is now. I'm fine with what he is now, right? Like I can use, basically he's just used as a burner. So I might just move Puka. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm just going to have, nah. Use the guy where you need him though. I want to win. So I'm going to move Puka back to slot. Pickens will be the backup. So he'll really be the number 3 on this team. So he's not going to get a ton of targets unless I'm in the game doing it. And then you can see from here, basically I just had our D tackle be backup for everything just in case. So he gets some PT. And then our sub linebacker is going to be Omar and then Kinshins. And slot's going to be Micah Hyde because he's the best at that for us. I'm just going to have him be our slot. And that's it. But our big takeaway here is we have Timmy Fowler ready to start in this league. And then next I'll go over all the rookie stuff that I went over last year. I made a whole spreadsheet on it, so I'm going to go over that now. All right, and just like I said, this is the storylines in the news articles that I was talking about. I wanted to track that and just see what happened with these and see if they actually reveal anything. And as you can see, they reveal a ton of stuff. So I'll go over quickly go over these things. And I learned some things for next year. I'm going to do it next year as well for 2027. But for 2026, I did learn some things. I'm going to do the draft. It doesn't matter. But I learned how to do it a little bit better. But I went ahead and broke this down. And I went player position, what the storyline was in the news, what their overall ended up being, what their dev trait was, and what team they ended up on. Now, this is just for tracking purposes, kind of see where they end up. But you can see I have it. Let's go. Actually, no, I don't want that. Let's go dev trait first. So you can see that the best player overall in this entire class, as far as overall plus dev, would be that Carl Perkins. So he's the one that was voted best tight end. I would imagine that they don't do best tight end every year. They probably do best something every year though. It's kind of same thing down here. Best safety. He ended up being the highest overall, but he had a star dev trait. So when they get voted best at something, it seems like they're going to be pretty damn good. At this, like I said, there's only 3 X factors in the whole, not in the whole draft, of course, but from the news articles that they showed me on the news tab in Madden. There ended up being 3 X factors. So the first guy was his storyline was he was a middle linebacker, 5-star out of high school, but he ended up being pretty bad in college. However, decent overall, and he's an X factor, so pretty damn awesome. Weber here it just said he was a really good pass rusher. That's all it said. He ended up being 75 X factor as well, and then like I said, Carl Perkins was voted best tight end. I think he was drafted number 2, 79 X factor. Now you get into our 3 superstars that were there. Thad Tomlinson was a quarterback, the Heisman winner. He ended up going to Steelers. He has a superstar dev. Tolik was one of the 2 guys that had a really good interview. The other guy, I didn't even put him on here because he was so bad. I think he was like 60 overall or something, or I couldn't find him, something like that. But it doesn't matter. He didn't matter. But good. He had a good interview, this guy, and he was a 72 overall with superstar dev. RJ Mack, he was that return specialist. His returning numbers are garbage, so that's not true. But his DB numbers are very good. So he's not really a return specialist, but he's a very good DB. He ended up being a superstar dev for the Packers. And then Gregory, who battled Simpson down here, he was one of our 3 stars that we ended up with. You can kind of see a theme here: 3, 3, and 3. 3 X factor, 3 superstars, 3 stars. So who knows? Maybe that means something. But you can see what we're dealing with here. So he is a 75 star, ended up on the Eagles. Quincy Creighton was an outside linebacker that said he was flying up the draft board. He ended up being 75 star. McLeod here, that was the guy that I was gonna go after if he had fallen to me. He was voted best safety, but the Giants went ahead and picked him up. He was the number 1 guy in this class as far as overall goes. In the whole class, not just the guy from what you're seeing here, but he was 82 overall star dev for the Giants. Hudson North was the best FCS player. Now we're getting into our normal dev trait guys, so nothing special with these guys. So historically, the best FCS player in the last 2 years has been garbage. So stay away from those guys. But he was 63 normal. He's on of course, the Bears drafted him. And unfortunately, the Vikings drafted 2 normal dev guys. Now, the first guy was Gary, a wide receiver who apparently had a really cool one-handed catch in softball. He ended up being 68 normal dev. And then the second guy that the Vikings drafted was a middle linebacker who had an impressive combine. He ended up being a 69 overall normal dev as well. And then our, fourth normal dev guy was Sharpton. He was the guy who had like a beast mode type of run in college, like one specific run, one play. And he's ended up being 71 normal dev for the Niners. So he's going to go be with Dayball in that new rookie. Probably not going to get a lot of playing time, though. And then we went ahead and drafted Simpson, DB that battled Gregory. Gregory got the better of him. So it looks like Gregory got the better and he's ended up being a 75 star. Simpson ended up being 71 normal, so it makes sense. But we went and drafted him. Now Samuels was my other guy. I put he was the other guy I drafted. He was the Michigan passing leader. So again, there was some weird bug that on Madden. However, it did reveal that he was a 74 overall. And I put star or question mark here because this was before I actually knew what he was, but he actually ended up being a star. So, all right, can we fix this, guys? All right, one hand typing, not smart. So he ended up being a star as well. So we had 4 stars. And remember, I revealed that by buying it. I did not just go and look at like all these other guys. I just went and I edited the player and just to see what their dev trait was. I didn't change anything. I just wanted to look at it. For Samuels, I did not do that because he was on my team. I wanted to do it the fair way, so I had to buy it. On the revealing 1 dev trait per season. So this is what we want. This is what we're looking at. And then there's one where I could not find him, and this is one of the things I said I learned from last year. I did not ever put a position for this guy. I went back through I painstakingly went back through every team's roster and found all these guys. However, I couldn't find this guy, and I think it's because of his storyline was he wanted to go make football games. So I don't think he even got drafted, or if he got drafted, he's not around because I couldn't find anyone by the last name Lindsay on any of the teams or in free agency. And then so I don't know what his position was. I don't know what his overall. I don't know his dev. He's not on team. So looks like this guy specifically just literally is not in the NFL. He literally did what he said he was going to do. He went to go make some football games. So very interesting stuff here, but that's kind of what I came up with. So overall, the takeaway is the news articles help tremendously. And so this is how many guys is this? 15, really 6. So there's 16 guys actually. And you have 3 super focused scouting and 3 private scouting, which reveal their overalls. So I would always, well, at least what I'm going to do is I'm not their overall, but it reveals their talent. I'm going to use all of those on my favorites because these are cool. And like you can hit on, like there's 3 X factors up for grabs. If you even get 1 X factor, boom, it changes your team. So especially at 20 years old, a 20-year-old X factor tight end would be amazing to have. So very cool that the news does that. And then of course the other way to look at these guys is just do traditional scouting, but it's kind of what I learned from this. That's my takeaway. I thought that was pretty fun, something I wanted to show you. But yeah, let's just get back into it, and we're going to track these guys' careers for, not every single guy, but I do want to look at these X factors, see if their X factor goes down, how good they are, do they take the league over, yada yada. But yeah, and then we're going to do the same exact thing for next season. So we'll make sure to do the exact same thing and track everything. All right, that's all I got for that though. So let's move on to the next thing. Welcome back. I don't know why I went back and looked at all these recordings and I skipped a week for whatever reason. I also didn't do any voiceovers for them because I'm an idiot. I don't know. I was probably feeling lazy. So now I have to go back 3 months later and trying to figure out what I was doing. Anyway, it looked like they just asked me about position battles, which is interesting. It is a huge topic for this team because obviously we want good old Timmy Fowler to be the guy. So straight up, they just said are going to have a quarterback position battle, basically between Fowler and Richardson, which I'd already mentioned that I went over and got Richardson. But for sure, no matter what, he's going to be our starter. Timmy Fowler is. No way we're going to sit him on the bench and then not have him play the next year. So definitely going to do that. I don't care what the players think. Truly don't. Fowler's our guy. So let's see what else we do. Probably should have watched this beforehand. Okay, we're going to upgrade some players. It's only been 1 week of the preseason. Like I said, I accidentally simmed 1 week. But looks like Timmy does have an upgrade. We go ahead and just throw it on Field General. I was noticing if you throw it on a different stat type or whatever, archetype, sometimes it's more beneficial. It'll give you like +5 in something, which is interesting. So there's something there. Looks like Joe Samuels has one too, so he's up a little bit to a 75 overall, because minus that 3 morale that we just got. And then Simpson, he's got one too, but we're just going to sim the rest. And then for our strategy, I just want to make sure that all my young dudes are getting all the PT. So we're going to throw Samuels for sure, Pickens, Rivers, but I do want to change Pitts. I just don't think he's going to be that. He's not our guy. He's definitely not a long-term guy. I don't need to develop him over time, so I'm just going to let Timmy get all the points here. Kind of same story with Simpson. Looks like I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. Is there someone else that would better fit this spot? Because he's 21 though, but he's normal dev, so it's like the second you see normal dev, you're like, man, I don't even know if I want to try. But looks like we go with it anyway. He'll slowly develop over time. Maybe he gets star at some point. But you can see what we did there. We're gonna just keep simming through. How much more of this I got? 50 seconds. Okay. Really wish I did voiceovers at the time. This is annoying. All right, simmed again. Looks like Cowan's got an upgrade. Now we're definitely going to focus on agile for all of our guys. We want that to get, like I said before, those are hard to come by. Agile for the O-line. So we're going to try and get as many of those as we can. So with our young guys, we'll put all the points towards that. We have a trade offer for Richardson. Let's see what we got. We just got this guy. He's only 1 mil cap hit. We could flip him and pick something that might suit our team a little better. But I just like having the security back there. Anthony Richardson is a Madden god. Like if I had to play with him, I'd be fine. But it's also not going to kill me. To have him, sit the bench basically and be that reliable backup. Anyway, that's that recording. And we'll get into the next one here. And we are into, let's see, week 3. We're going to do the same thing we've been doing. See how our practice stuff went. Upgrade our guys that we need to upgrade. I have to do this recording again, just like the last however many minutes. I don't know why I did that. Why would I do that? Why would I not just do the damn recording at the time? This makes it so much harder. But okay, so we see what happened there. We do have some upgrades, so let's go through those. I'm pretty sure on this one, Pickens gets an upgrade. So we got some of our players that we're, the future of our team getting some upgrades. We have Joe Samuels going to a true 76 overall run stopper. So he's already developing pretty quickly at 21 too. Great to see. OA verse whatever, Jalen Wright, we'll see what he's got. He's basically going to be stuck to being an elusive back, so we'll always just put it on that. And then we'll jump down to Pickens here. Pickens is our deep threat, so he's already kind of well versed there. See where we spend the skill point. We spend it on deep threat. What do we get? Okay, +3 to catching traffic. That's good. So he's 96 speed, 93 excel, spec catch 86. So he's got some room to improve, basically everywhere else. But he's got some things to build off of. I like the guy, and speed wins, especially in Sean McVay's offense. So we'll be all right there. We do have some more trade offers, but first let's check out this injury. Of course, it's one of my favorite players, Omar Spates. Even though he's developing very slowly, he's still one of my favorites. Let's go and check out who's out there in free agency for middle linebackers, because now I need one just to fill the void. I'm looking at Bobby Wagner here. He's kind of a no-brainer. He's a veteran. He's decent. You can plug and play at all times. He'll fit in on any scheme, any team, at any age really. So we went ahead and grabbed him, and he's going to be kind of a long-term guy too. We might even put Bobby Wagner over Gibbons when Spates comes back, because he's good. He's just that good. So we'll see what we do though when Spates comes back off of injury. Let's keep going here. Check out these trade offers real quick. I'm literally just looking at these just to see how desperate these teams get for a quarterback. Ain't no way I'm trading a 78 overall 24-year-old that's only a 1 mil cap hit against me. I'm just not doing it, especially when he has so much upside. So anyway, that's for that recording. Let's get into the next one here. just go over what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna cut some of this fat here, trim the fat. I don't care about many of these guys at all, really. Even I don't think I drafted any of them, and even if I did, don't care. If you're a normal dev and you're under 70, couldn't possibly care less about you. Sorry. So I'm just getting rid of players that make zero difference in our cap space. Basically, it was all those practice squad guys that got got added at the end of the year. But I'm just gonna cut who I need to cut, and we're good. Nothing crazy there, nothing too exciting. Let's jump into our interview here. This should be that default interview that you always get every preseason with the girl that wears the same clothes and the same shoes. And there she is. We talk all the time about, yes, the identity thing. Okay, so this is like basically setting expectations for the year. We're trying to meet our goal, our caps or our specific goals. What do I to pick here? Balanced offense. Yeah, I think so. I really like Martin Scott, like a lot. So I'm gonna play with him a consistent amount. It's not gonna be that old school drop back and throw every time with Stafford. I'm gonna have Timmy needs to pick his spots, and we need to run the ball at least half the time, if not more. Like I said, I love Martin Scott, so we're gonna force that pretty aggressively. Kind of a slight shift in team identity, if you will. Not too bad though. We're still gonna sling the rock. Don't get me wrong. We got an X factor quarterback. We're gonna sling the rock, but I do want to mix in more running. Manuel Forbes gets an upgrade there. Forbes, man, I'm telling, he could turn into something. He's so damn young. I can't believe the Rams got him for what they got him. That was good on them to get such a young DB. Let's see what else we got. Again, let's check out some trade offers. Let's see what teams are willing to give up. Looks like this is the same crop of guys. I don't really care. None of them. Fautanu definitely looks good, but I'm not trading such a valuable position for a tackle, even though I know tackles are very valuable too. We're okay there. We don't really need it. Looks like Rashard Alexander is doing pretty well over on the Bucks. It's still we're waiting to be seen to see who's gonna be the starter there. But now let's jump into what the draft class was the previous year. So the draft class we just did. So you can see that quarterbacks were very strong. You just go through, take a look at yourself. Ooh, punter. It looks like we missed out on a generational punter. Very strong. Darn. But anyway, strong for wideouts, strong for tight ends. Now I'm randomizing, looking away. I already did this. I recorded this back in January, so I need to look away. Let's see what we get here. I already did this whole season, so I'm pretty sure I already did the reveal. So, wow, I did a pretty good job of mixing it up. I didn't see a whole lot, so it doesn't matter anyway. But that is what it is. That's what the draft is going to be. Maybe I should cut that part and then reveal it next season so we all can see it together. So instead of you guys, because I looked at these videos anyway. Who cares? I'm thinking too much. Let's just get into this. So now we are in week 1 here. We're going to set our goals for the year. We're definitely making playoffs. We're going to hard commit to that. It's not going to be easy to make playoffs for damn sure, but we're going to try. We're going to generate our draft class, and it looks like it is DB heavy, which is just what we need. All right, and let's get into the next recording here. Okay, yet another recording without voiceover, so let's just jump in. This is a sim week for us, unfortunately, but we're going to jump in. I don't even see what we did. Some kind of practice, something, some coach goals. What it's going to be yeah. We're going to say our offense again. It's always the case. We're just too damn good. But it's because our defense needs to get better. Now, maybe we should pick defense, so then we have offensive goals that we can actually meet, because we're never going to meet our defensive goals. We suck. Whatever, stats, yada yada. Here we go. We're gonna do this. I don't care. I don't know what this stuff, if it affects it too much, but it doesn't affect us until after the season anyway, so whatever. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, bear with me again. It's only 1:37, guys. Come on, we're almost there. Let's look at my depth chart. I actually do want to do this. I want to look at the 49ers depth chart first, and you just see the lay of the land about our number one rival here. Greg Warner is the starter there. Of course, they have Christian McCaffrey. He's still kind of at the top of his game, but he's going to fall off a cliff any day now. They are now missing Debo, as you can see. So Slick Rick will have a much bigger part of the offense. They're also missing Kittle because, of course, they traded him to the Chargers from our wheel spins, like we already went over. Keep going through. Of course, it's just kind of their same team. They do have that young guy on the end there, and they also have Carlos Gonzalez, who's a second year player. Of course, they're very good at linebacker. They always will be. They're decent at DB. We still have Hufanga. They haven't. In real life, they imploded, right? We all know that. They kind of got rid of everybody. But in this version of Madden, they did not do that. They did get rid of Purdy, though, which is interesting. Okay, so then we did Sim. Sorry. I kind of buried the lead there. We did Sim, and we lost. We put up 35, but we gave up 42. So good and bad there. Let's see in the news. Is there anything special? Nothing crazy in the news. All right, so you can see what happened. Looks like we lost to the Niners, but let's go check out the entire league like I normally do. Not great for Timmy to lose on his very first start, but again, let's just keep going through here. So we got the Texans beating the Jags. We got Panthers beating the Browns. So it looks like Panthers hopefully are on their way up. Let's see, Tampa Bay beating the Commanders. We got Saints edging out the Falcons. Miami beating the Bengals. Bengals off to 0-1 again for like the 5th year in a row. Jets getting a 10-point win. And still Mac Jones is still there. Philly beating the Titans. So Titans off to their losing ways once again. Minnesota getting a rare week 1 win. Giants losing by a bajillion to the Cardinals. Las Vegas winning against Denver. And then was one of the highest scoring games of the week is us versus the Niners. Now it looks like our offense did phenomenal. We got 424 yards, 120 offensive rushing, and then 300 passing. Although they had a very balanced game on both sides of the ball. So our rush we almost gave up 200 yards. Let's see the stats broken down. So again, rookie against a second year starter. First start for both of these guys, and it looks like Greg Warner just kind of puts on a clinic. He throws for 5 touchdowns against 2 picks. He only threw for 200 yards, but still very good numbers, touchdown interception wise, especially for your very first game. And then Timmy went for 300, threw 1 touchdown and 2 picks. You can see that. Over to our rushing, like I said, Christian McCaffrey got 140 yards and a tutty. Martin Scott almost got 100 and he had 2 touchdowns. That's good for our goal line offense. Looks like he's doing exactly what we want. He had 8 broken tackles. That's exactly what we're wanting to see out of Martin Scott. Warner ran 7 times himself for 40 yards, and then Timmy ran for 20. And then not a lot of other players got any touches. And then we go to the receiving side of it all. Slick Rick got the most yards and catches and touchdowns. So he seems like a focal point in their offense. He's probably playing slot for them. And that's going to be a focal point for them moving forward. So he's probably going to be a safety blanket for their quarterback. Puka had a fine game, 6 for 70. Mark Andrews on his first game with us had 6 for 60 and a touchdown. Cooper had 5. So you can see 6, 6, 5, 5. He really went kind of shared the ball. Pickens even had his 5. Unfortunately, our backup looks like is going to be Claypool for the time being. He only had 1 for 11. And poor Whittington didn't even get on the field. Poor guy. Blocking, Dotson gave up 2. Interesting. Tyron gave up 1, and Cowan only gave up 1. So that's good to see there. That's a lot of sacks though. But overall, if Cowan only gave up 1, I'm good with that. Bosa got 3 himself as a left end. So that's our right tackle. So he was having some trouble, which is our rookie, unfortunately. And then Kobe Turner got 1, Carlos Gonzalez got 1, Jared Verse nowhere to be seen, unfortunately. But I did see that Gibbons, who stepped in place of Spates, got 2 picks. Good for him. But then they also grabbed 2 picks from us. And then nothing else from there. But basically, great job by our offense, minus those 2 interceptions. But so we need to clear that up. Off to an 0-1 start against a division rival with a new quarterback and a new system. Not the greatest start for us. But then we head over to Dallas beats out Seattle. Indy continued their winning ways. I saw that Andrew Luck put up the most yards and touchdowns, and he had a great percentage. So actually, he threw for the second most touchdowns, looks like. But in other news, Justin Fields did get the starting role there. So the Heisman Trophy winner, looks like he's going to probably sit a year, or maybe he'll eventually battle Fields. But for now, Fields has the starting gig. And then let's see, we go on to Green Bay and Detroit. Looks like Green Bay edges them out. They almost have, God, they didn't just edge them out. They blew them out of the water, 460 yards. And Jared Goff is still the starter there. I'm wondering what his, well, he's way better than these guys, but I'm wondering what his overall is now. It'd be interesting to see. What Jordan Love putting up a perfect game, basically. 21 for 28. A little under 300, two touchdowns. Jacobs does what he does. Everyone else does what they do. The same Packers team. They haven't really done anything to their team, but they don't really need to. They're 1-0. And then the Chargers, the new look Chargers with Kittle, edge out the Andy Reid / Shanahan Chiefs. Very cool. So you see that Justin Herbert threw 4-2. So if he fixes those picks, they would have blown him out even more. That's pretty insane. And then Dobbins did what he does. You know, he just did good enough. And then Kittle making an immediate impact. 8 for 180 and 2 touchdowns. That is awesome for them. Ladd is probably going to take more of a backseat this year to Kittle, but Ladd's still going to get his. He had the most catches and touchdowns last year, so he's still going to get his. He'll be just fine. Joe Alt didn't give up a sack. There's only a couple sacks on the whole game. Wow, so very cool. Chargers getting off to a pretty good start against, a very good Chiefs team on Monday night. And then Bills beating up on Chicago pretty badly. I think the Bills are kind of what they always are. Yep. They don't really change a whole lot, truthfully. It looks like they grabbed Treylon Burks in the offseason. But kind of the same team that we're used to seeing, so nothing really to report there. But for us, really want to get off to a better start. That's kind of not an ideal start for our rookie. I mean, we only lost by a touchdown, but still want to kind of get that up. Let's pop this storyline here. And we have the Chiefs, and this is a play the moment against the Chiefs. I wanted to go against Andy Reid and Shanahan offense, so we'll see what happens with that. How do you feel about... Oh, crap, I didn't get to read it. Obviously not happy with how we played. Yes, I'm not. Which side of the ball struggled more? Both. Our defense gave up a lot. They gave up 42 points. Who needs to be better? DBs. So, pass defense. That's always going to be what it is. Which one? So, you're making me call somebody out? That's messed up. Markel Carter. Player to the critics. He took it personally, and his morale dropped by 5. Of course. Of course he did. I'm bad at this storyline stuff, apparently. Alright, let's upgrade our players here. I'm hoping that our quarterback, even though he's not... Oh, he didn't even get anything. Damn it. How far is Blake? He's got 93 snaps on the year. He's far away from being agile, so he might not have a future on this team. He's 7 points away from where we need him. We need him to be agile as his number 1, so probably won't keep him around for very long, truthfully, because it's just hard to get those guys up there, and having those guys on the line have scheme fits is very important for simming. All right, let's see anything in the news that anyone's name I need to write down for the new year. Brian Robinson, Jaguar, Patty Mack, nope. Everyone in the league has no. I thought I saw a guy. Yes, okay, here we go. Minnesota posts a shutout, and Sidney Parnell puts points on the board with a safety. Do they mean the Vikings? I don't think I saw a shutout. I think they mean like the Minnesota Gophers. Because the Vikings did not have a shutout, right? Oh, I'm looking at... I think it would have said Vikings. Yeah, so it's not. All right, so I guess I could have just went and checked the draft board. Sidney Parnell, scout college players. a defensive end. There he is right there, number 7 overall. So we're not going to get a... Well, maybe we'll get a crack at him, or we might be off to an 0-2 start here. I'll set him as a favorite, and then I'll put him in the spreadsheet, and we'll track him, see what happens with him. Trade offers are going to be the same thing that we've been getting. For staff points, I want to throw it towards Mayo one more time here. I put more on D tackles. And strength for DBs. No, I don't care about that. Yeah, press for DB. Press for DB. Okay, that's good with me. So trying to get Mayo up a little bit there. Okay, and that's good. All right, guys. I don't know what's wrong with me. I did it again, though. I didn't record the entire first playthrough of Tim. Timmy Fowler. What an idiot. So I have to go. We're going to just do this together, I guess. I'm sorry for the... it's not really flowing as well as I would have liked for Timmy's first game. But we are going against the 0-1 Chiefs here. We are also 0-1, so getting off to an 0-2 start would be awful. And it's going to be hard to do with a second-year Timmy Fowler versus Patrick Mahomes here and the 0-1 Chiefs. And I will also do a quick disclaimer here. The recording is very choppy at the very beginning. Who knows why? I still don't understand. But it is. And I'll just call the game from here, I guess. I'm so annoyed. Why didn't I just talk over it? Maybe I was thinking about cutting and everything, which I could potentially still do, I guess, but I'm just going to talk through it. It's Timmy's first game. He deserves it, man. We put a whole year into this guy. He got 40K XP in the offseason. He retained his X Factor. Stafford's sitting on the bench, leading. He's holding that clipboard for our boy, but let's go. Let's go. Our first official regular season drive with Timmy Fowler. Let's see what we can do. Looks like the Chiefs already got a quick turnover, and you can see that the game is very choppy, and it's super annoying. Look at that. Oh, so gross. God. It's always at the very beginning of the game. Even if I play for like hours, the beginning of the game is like this every time. So it definitely isn't my PC. It has to be the damn game itself. Very annoying, though. All right, so looks like we call a little rollout to the right here. Little play action rollout to the right. See if we can get anything easy going. We bomb one over Pickens' head. Not how we want to start. It's okay, though. Timmy's a little nervous. He normally has his visor. I'm not sure why he decided not to wear it today for his first game in the rain. What a crazy first game, by the way. But he does have some options here. Now, he has better options than Stafford has last year, for sure. We've got Mark Andrews taking over for Higbee. Massive upgrade. He's going to be a huge safety blanket for us. We paid what we paid for him. I don't think we overpaid. I think we paid just spot on for what he's going to bring to this team. So let's see what we do here. Looks like we have another play action this time. We want to look over to the left. He does have our quick release, so that's going to help us tremendously back there. That's the thing that got me into a lot of trouble with Stafford is his animation. His throwing animation was a little bit longer, so it would be a lot of pass breakups or getting hit while he was throwing. We're going to run to the left here. We got a little block for Martin Scott out to the 43. Got third and short here, third and mid. And again, another big change on our O-line is Tyron Smith is now our left tackle, so we should feel a lot better over there. But, man, I dropped back way too far on that one. I hate when I watch other people do that. I'm like, why are you dropping back so far? That's not realistic. One thing I should mention, too, for this series, I'm going to update my house rules. It's kind of already house rules for me. It's part of the no cheese thing. We hit Pickens over on the right side there for a first down. But anyway, part of the house rules is that I have to do coach suggestions on offense. And I'm going to do however many plays a game. I can pick my own play, but for the most part on offense, I just do coach suggestions. So if you guys are always like, why doesn't he just go to formation and, pick my own plays? That is why. It's not cheesy, of course, but if you know what plays to pick, you can just manipulate the game very easily. I think we all know that. So I just like to stay away from those type of plays. And to do that, I just do coach suggestions. I think it's easy. I know it's kind of like it's not really anything anyone else does, and I'm okay with that. And this, okay, real quick on the field here, this is something I want to get involved with a lot more is the RPO, with specifically with our boy Pickens, as our back. I'm sorry, as our slot wide receiver. So putting him in advantageous positions because I think if we get his speed unleashed, we can really open this team up with Puka and Cup on the outside. Now here's something, a little wrinkle I like to do. So this is what I'm going to work on this season is Richardson is now subbed in. He will be our running quarterback. So if there's a running situation, a fourth and short, a tush push type of situation, Richardson's in the game every single time. Now that's going to be a fun one. Just wait until you see further in the year. Again, I'm recording this in April. I'm recording the voiceover in April. The gameplay was back in January before I hurt myself. So I'm trying to catch up on all this, but I do know a little bit about what happens. I just don't remember everything. Okay, cool. So Martin Scott up the middle. Martin Scott looks good. He's gonna have a big year. I love him. I don't know if he's gonna. I don't remember if he does or not, but I know. I love running with the guy. He does everything that I like a running back to do. Fights for yards. He doesn't fumble. His hands could use a little work, but that's about it. But there you go. Fowler leads us to a first quarter touchdown there. Back into it. We take back over. Is this I can't tell what we're doing. Is this play offense or play the moments? Damn. Well, I guess we'll just see together. We're doing a run to the left here, and Scott has enough speed to kind of break out a little bit on these outside runs. He's not like a breakaway type of guy, but he's enough. It's enough, and he doesn't. It's enough to not engage in that weird ass animation when you hit turbo. Let's see. Fowler's got his wheels on him. He rolls out to the left. Andrews gets a nice little block on him. Now again, coach suggestions. However, if there's like a third and short, a fourth and short, something like that, I will be putting in Anthony Richardson, and he will be my running quarterback. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm subbing out Timmy Fowler for Anthony Richardson, and I'm going to go with a quarterback draw or something. I don't know what I do here. Yeah, quarterback draw. And I like Anthony Richardson for this purpose. He can throw the ball if we absolutely want him, need him to, but I want him to do it. He's a fourth short, third and short kind of guy. Cam Newton, big boy, just get back there and just rumble your way forward. He's not doing so hot right now with it, but 4th and 2, we're not going to risk it against the Chiefs, or are we? We call a timeout. Okay, Sean McVay says, F it, dude. We're going for it. So let's see what we can do here. What are we going to try? What are we going to do? Quarterback sneak for 2 yards. That's risky. I don't think so. I don't like an outside handoff with Martin Scott. If anything, we need to go right up the middle. And it looks like we're going right off to the left. We're going to go right over Tyron Smith there, hopefully, and they stop us. So bad call on us. We should have just kicked the damn field goal, damn it. Moment missed. Yeah, so we're playing moments. That leads to Patrick Mahomes driving down the field, and then we have to try and stop him. Now, with defense, I can play. So what I was thinking is, what I normally do is coach suggestions on defense as well. However, oh, what a dot. This is Patrick Mahomes, classic Patrick Mahomes. Anyway, on defense, I normally just do coach suggestions as well. I try to suppress myself because I could just run the same coverages and like feel comfortable in that. But I want to save that for big moments. So I kind of save that, me calling the stuff for big moments or big stops that I need. But yeah, a lot of this is just coach suggestions, and I don't know if you ever notice. I'll just pick, you know what? I'll just pick a play, and I'll kind of just make it work. I'll do some audibles and stuff. I don't want to like cheese it too hard by picking every single, position or assignment. I don't want that much control. All right, so finally we get some pressure. We sent our nickel trap. That's the one I like to send. And this is what I'm talking about. If I just like play it out of this double mug, which I love to play, I think I could do pretty decent on defense. As they dime me up. I just kind of want them to play. You guys pick the defense. Let the coaches do it. And I'll just kind of guide the ship a little bit. All right, so now we're already down. Getting off into the second half here. We have been driving though. We're in the red zone, so hopefully we can punch this one in. Scott out to the left. Let's see how he takes that ball. And look at this. This is what I'm talking about. He just fights. He's never not moving forward. I love it. Kyron would just run into brick walls, no matter what it was. Boom, brick wall. All right, 14-14, close game in the rain. Timmy hasn't been, making any crazy plays, no crazy dimes like that. But he's been a very good game manager, and he's been giving it to our best guys. One thing I do want to mention here on the Chiefs offense is their tight end. Their tight end, I think Kelsey, I don't remember. I think Kelsey retired in this world, but they replaced him with another tight end that's just as insane, a number 88 there. So he's got Tony Gonzalez's number. I think I go more in depth on him later in the season because he's pretty dope. But they did not lose a step at tight end at all. And there he is right there. And he's very good. He's super fast. He has good hands. And he's wearing Tony Gonzalez's number, which I think is funny. Or no, you know what? I think 86 is the guy that I'm thinking about. I don't remember. We'll go over it. I know I go over it eventually. It might be someone they draft actually on the next season. Spoiler alert. I don't know. I don't remember. Damn, this Chiefs offense, man, is just so insane to go against. Okay. Oh wow. So we drive right down again, and we're in the red zone again. So I don't know what Timmy's doing. He might be having a great game. From what I've been doing, I've been just kind of game managing with him. And we do have someone on the right side. It's our new tight end. He ended up making the tight end cut. It hurts there. I think I went over that. I don't know. You guys will see. Okay, so we're down 7. They are driving again. Only 3 minutes left in the entire game. We need to stop badly. They're motioning their tight end over. He's going to come back to the left. Bobby Wagner's not phased at all. He's been here. He's done that. He gets the tackle. Pacheco's not having a great game, but everyone else is on their team. How many minutes we got left on this damn recording? What a dumb decision I've made, by the way. Never again. Just don't be lazy and do the recording on the spot. Okay. So Patty Mac, of course, he's doing he's got a one back. He sends one of his 5 receivers that has 90 plus speed out in motion, and then Pacheco drops the ball in the rain here. Thank goodness. So we're leaving us with a 3rd and 5. This is what I'm talking about. When I want to actually play some legitimate defense, I will switch to my own defense here. They're going to motion out again. They like to do that and then send them into the flat. I mean, they just have so many things that they can do because the speed, and just Patrick Mahomes puts it on them every time. So they're pretty much impossible to beat. It's so hard, especially me. I'm not that great on defense. They're just better. But doesn't look like Buckner's making a huge difference so far. Although it is only game 2, and I've barely seen him play, so who knows? Maybe he's doing pretty damn good. Roll out to the left. Mahomes puts it over the top. Yada yada. We get it. He's fastest receiver in the league. So now we're down 2 scores. 2 minutes to go. Timmy's in a bad spot, but this is kind of what makes and breaks players. Not saying he's going to lead us to a win, but how is he going to play? Oh my God. How is he going to play in this pressure moment? Well, he throws a pick over the middle. Not ideal. All right, so they're going for it on 4th down. I would imagine they get it. This is damn Chiefs we're talking about. Okay. Look at if you can't play man. You just cannot play man. They will burn you all day. Unless you're sending more than they can block and getting in Mahomes' face immediately. Even if it doesn't matter. Whatever you do doesn't matter. He makes decisions very quickly. He's always putting it right on him. So, I mean, we all know this. Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback alive right now. All right, so we try to hit Pickens deep, and we definitely had him, but that safety ended up getting over there. And thank goodness we got it out early, though, because there was a DB in our face. in Fowler's face there. See if we can do anything of note here. We got a nice out route to Puka. Definitely on that nice little he just zings that thing, man. He's got that Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love quick release. Okay. I always go on the right side on the comeback. Yep, I always do the same damn thing. All right, Pickens there. Beautiful throw. Beautiful catch. Rookie to rookie, or I guess second-year guy to rookie. Pickens is going to be a huge part of our offense. That was a little of a missed throw. I think I could have adjusted with Puka better on that one and probably ended up with at least a contest, like a contested catch. But we didn't adjust with Puka, and it ended up sailing over his head. Puka over the middle. They just kind of left a soft spot there, so we're just going to take advantage of it. 4 seconds left. Can we get a snap off? We do. A little screen pass to Martin Scott, and he does not get in. He gets stifled. I was just talking good about that. So not a good game by Timmy, truthfully. It's a second game in the league, but the first game that we watched him play. So not ideal. Threw 3 picks. I think it was 250, 1 touchdown and 3 picks. So, of course, we see the Chiefs win again. Martin Scott was looking pretty decent, though, but I want to see the stats for the whole game. Because we kind of only did, we only played the moment, so we don't know the whole vibe. But, yeah, looks like there's only 10 seconds left on this clip. So I don't think we'll get into the stats. But yeah, thanks for watching this episode. And we'll get into the next one. 6 touchdowns. My God. We'll get into the next one here soon.